My name is Lisa Rimmert, and my handle is Lisa Rimmy.
Name is J Marks, J Markovitz. Handle is Slop the Trough on Instagram. It's what we used to call eating pussy in college. It's gross, but it's accurate.
My name's Duante, the Suitman Barnett. Instagram, Suitman206, S-U-I-T, not Soup, Suitman206.
Phil K Comedy on Instagram and Facebook. I have one, but it don't matter.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Nice. Happy birthday to me. Thanks, buddy.
In case you had a boner.
I'm going to keep that in the memory for when I'm trying not to come.
I did comedy for 4 years, then quit for 5 years, and then currently have been doing comedy for like 2.5, 3 years. I wasn't any good my first tour of duty, but now it's going slightly better.
5 years last month.
It's complicated. I've been doing it consistently for the past 3 years, and then off and on before that. I hope if I get famous, I bring a fridge like this with me everywhere I go, every interview. I have been doing comedy for 3 years consistently, and then I started like 10 years ago and did it off and on, but mostly off. So really 3 years is like probably a good number to stick with.
I've been doing comedy for almost 6 years. I've been producing shows throughout the Northwest for over 5 years.
I really can't put it on one. I can't have one night that was the best, but hold on. First book show I ever had, we'll just go with that. Like that was pretty good. Was in Auburn right before COVID happened. It was March, right before everything got shut down. Greg Beechler was on the show. Robert Cashmore, P-Man, he's from San Diego. I was the only white dude on the show, and I had a walk-up song, and it was "You Can't See Me" by Tupac. So that was kind of funny. And then I'm like, hey, it's just because you can't see, like it's like you can't see the P, and I'm like, hey, my name starts with P. So it was pretty lame, but it was fun. Yeah, that was a good night.
I don't think it's happened yet. It stopped being something where I'm like, oh yeah, comedy is fun. It's more like a job now. So if anything feels too good or too bad, that's kind of a clue that I'm not going in the right direction.
This feels like bragging. The thing that is coming to mind is this was in Michigan, so nobody in Seattle should be mad at me for this. I did an open mic at a club out there, and the owner happened to be there, and he happened to see my set, and he happened to like it. And I went into the lobby to get a drink afterwards, and he pulled me aside. I didn't even know who it was. I mean, just kidding, I totally know who you are. But he was just introduced himself and said good set, and asked me if I wanted to like come and perform for realsies. That's like the fastest track ever that happened. So I was like, oh, yes. So yeah, actually I went home, I parked in a parking garage that night, and I was so excited and like jazzed about this new opportunity that I totally messed up how to park, and I was like trying to put in my receipt to like pay for my parking because my mind was just elsewhere. I was like, this thing isn't working. I was excited. I was so excited. Yeah, very I Love Lucy or something.
There's kind of two. There's actually a lot. I sold out Columbia City Theater, my first real big second show there. That was huge. My first real show at Laughs, I got a $1,100 check for my first produced show. I sold out, Lounge at the End of the Universe in Boise for a whole night with 2 shows with an all-black and an all-woman lineup. So as a producer, those were my best nights. As a comedian, I went up to Canada, I didn't know nobody, and I crushed 3 rooms in one night. Didn't make no money, but to go up to Canada, a place you don't know if they know what your joke's gonna mean, if all the American shit works, and I fucking crushed. And not only did I crush, but I did 3 different 10-minute sets that night. So it was like I kind of put my muscle out there, like not only am I funny, but I can do it in multiple different ways.
I drove like an hour and 20 minutes each way to do a comedy in front of 3 people, and I brought a date with me, and then she never talked to me again. And that's happened 3 times, so I don't bring girls to shows anymore. Yeah.
Too easy. I mean, to pick from. Oh, one time I did a show where I don't know what happened, but they all, I think, had a meeting. Like, everybody in the audience, my theory is they had a meeting beforehand, and they were like, I don't know who this Lisa person is on the lineup, but we all agree to hate her, right? And I couldn't figure out what I did wrong, but it was just, I think it was like a 10 or 15 minute set to almost complete silence. And I just was, the whole time, I would have called it out and been like, what's happening? But I wasn't experienced enough at the time, so I just thought I tanked. Yeah, I was like, why don't you guys, like, not even just like polite claps every now and then, just nothing. And I was like, what did I do to you guys? It was very strange. That was the worst. Oh, I did a show, I know because the guy took a bunch of photos, and I didn't know till afterwards that I was wearing like sweatpants overalls, and I camel toe the whole time. You gotta do the pull, I didn't know. Yeah, pull it down. They were also too small a little bit. I was holding on to like clothes that I should have gotten rid of. I was like, these will fit again. It's cool though when you get like, you know, like some bookers take a lot of photos and then they send them out, and you're always like, oh cool, this is great for me to use for stuff. And you're just like, oh, that's camel toe in that one, camel toe in that one. Get the whole, all 20 or whatever he said. It's just good times. Good times. You can't be mad either. You can't be like, how come nobody told me? How were they gonna tell you? They're like light you really early. Like, you gotta get out of here. Is there a sign? Is there a sign for camel toe? Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I did a roast for Adam Lucky, and it was a roast, and the guy opened up with nothing but racist black jokes. And I had brought my black friend with me to do this competition, and so all he did was do all these racist jokes. So I opened my set with, you know what's the hardest part about doing comedy? Punching white racists in their mouth when they do shitty jokes. And my black friend loved it. The other guy, the producer, was like, that was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. I said, no, your buddy shouldn't have done racist jokes before a black comic comes up.
Any night where I go to the 907 as my third mic of the night, because then you're just there for like 2 or 3 hours waiting to go on. Not to slight the 907. The 907 is a fine institution in the scene, but it has a window of where it's good, and if you get there late, then it's not good. So you're just waiting around. If you're early, then, you know, at least you get out of there at a decent hour. But if you're stuck there till like 1 in the morning waiting to tell jokes to the one guy who's there, me and Brad have learned our lesson to not go there. No, it's not an uplifting message that I have. We're supposed to lose. It's what's funny.
I don't know, just put together like 10 more minutes of new material, get booked outside the state a little bit more. I've only done comedy out of the state once. Just like branch out, you know, get booked on other shows that I haven't been on yet, go places I haven't been. Because, you know, you get comfortable, like, you know, I go to club comedy a lot, I go to Tacoma Comedy Club a lot, I go to, you know, the same little group of shows that I usually go to, so.
Right now, if you're looking at me, you've probably seen me on The Cut if you watch YouTube. I've got hundreds of millions of views because of The Cut. I've been in Hawaii, I've been in Canada, I've been in Nevada, I've been in California, I've been in Oregon, I've been in Idaho, I've been in Washington. So, that means I need to go to the East Coast or the South this year. And I can do it. Funny enough, I got the contacts, but I've done every state, even Hawaii. I haven't done Alaska, but I've done basically every state in the U.S. on the West Coast. I produce shows in every state in the West Coast, so now it's time to go Midwest, South, or East.
I'm not a good goal setter. I would like to I like the amount of shows I'm doing now, so I don't really want to do more shows, but I would like to start doing shows that pay well versus shows that don't pay well.
Make more new open micers quit. Comedy scene is too saturated. The more people that we can have quit, the better. I think we should institute like a purge. Just get them out of stand-up comedy. If I'm a casualty of that, then so be it. So you're on board. All right.
Probably just, this isn't funny, but like just stick with it. Because I started comedy and then I really did it sparsely, and then I moved and I kind of started over, but not really. And then I gave up, and then there was a pandemic, so I was like forced to stay out of it. And I wish I had done it. If I had done it consistently since I started, I would have been so much further along right now. So yeah, stick with it, kid.
Network from the beginning. So yeah, it's like the first year I was like going to open mics and doing pretty good, and I'm like, how come I'm not on any shows? And it's because I didn't fucking talk to anybody. I just left. Like, this is weird. Aren't people just waiting around to watch how funny I am and then fucking invite me on the shit? And it didn't work that way. You gotta promote yourself. So I'd be like, learn how to use a computer, Phil. Know how to email. Get headshots, even if you suck.
I spent so much trying to have people like me. And when you try to have people like you, you're going to get people in your circle who don't like you. And then those people will use everything you've showed them against you. There's more people here in comedy are going to be shitty to you than they're going to be good to you. So what I always recommend to people is don't worry about the funny, worry about good people. Good people will support you. Good people will come to your shows even if they're not performing. Good people will do their time and not complain. Good people will defend you. Good people may not be funny, but at least they'll show up and bring people who want to watch you do your comedy. There's enough funny people out there that are shitty and don't bring anything except for their arrogance and their idea of what they own or bring to comedy. So I would tell my old self that, hey, you're the man. You are the nice guy. You are one of the nicest people in comedy, and don't let people make you feel bad for it.
You're way worse than you think you are.
Yeah, I want to promote my podcast. Is that what everybody says? Yeah, I have a podcast with another comedian who lives in Portland. Her name is Mandy Simonson, and she's terrific. It's called Late to the Game. You can find us on Instagram at Late to the Game Pod, and it's a very funny podcast about how we're late to the game on a bunch of stuff.
So I am Suitman Productions. Next April, I'll be doing Deaf Comedy Jam. That Deaf, D-E-A-F. We translate comedy for both a hearing and a deaf audience. I'm partial deaf myself. We'll be doing it again next September or October at Rainier Arts Center in Seattle. We do monthly shows at Jules Maes. That's where we're at right now, Jokes at Jules. And then every month I have 2 podcasts called Autastic Artists, where we interview people who are neurodivergent, because I'm Asperger's myself. And the other one is Dating with Disabilities, where we talk about what it's like to have disabilities and try to date. So I really do some well-rounded stuff. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've got black shows, I've got all-women shows, I've got old people shows, I've got sober shows, I've got mixed people shows. I've got it all. So if you're in a unique demographic, you're tired of seeing that old, shitty white comedy, you're tired of seeing the same 3 white comics, you're tired of seeing the little club, their clique, come check out Suitman Productions and see some people from all over the world. Because my Zoom shows have people from Malaysia, China, India, Canada, Mexico. We have people from all over the world on our Suitman Production shows on YouTube. Also, make sure you support Doris. This little girl's working her little ass off. My favorite Columbia comedian. She may be my only Colombian comedian, but that's just a coincidence. So shout out to Doris for even doing this.
I got a show that I produce at the Roslyn Theater in Roslyn, Washington, and the first Saturday of every month. This will be the 7th show so far. Every show has sold out so far. Pretty proud of it, but I know it's kind of far, but it's like 88 miles from Seattle. But if you're feeling squirrely and you want to go, hit me up, and maybe I can comp you a ticket or we'll get you in there. But Adam Tiller headlining this month, and with Alexa Hansen and Gwen Fitzgerald.
Rain City Jerks podcast. We talk a lot of shit about local stand-up comedy, so if you're afraid that your name is coming up on it, it probably is.